What's up, everybody? I'm David Hain. Welcome to episode 191 of the A to D From Addict to Disciple podcast. If you enjoy this podcast, please like, subscribe, follow, and share the link with your friends. And can you do me a favor? Could you get 2 friends to listen to this episode and then take the time to chat with them about it? If you'd like to get our curriculum, you can get the paperback or ebook of From Ashes to Destiny on Amazon. When we come back, we'll get into this episode entitled, Slippery When Wet. Welcome back to episode 191 of the A to D From Addict to Disciple podcast entitled, Slippery When Wet. We often see these signs that say slippery when wet in shopping malls to warn us that someone is cleaning the floor. And we need to walk with caution so we don't slip and fall and get injured. We can also see these signs on highways or roads with a picture of a car skidding sideways. Again, it's a warning to slow down because of wet or icy surfaces, and our tires could lose their traction, their footing, and you could have an accident. Well, in today's episode, we're going to look at what causes us to lose our footing. By this I mean, why do we keep slipping or stumbling in recovery? Why does holding on to recovery feel like holding on to a slippery fish? Why does it feel like the floor is slippery every time we start making great steps forward in our recovery? Why is it for some of us that it seems like things become slippery after we get 3 or 6 months clean? Or after 1 month back home, after another successful period in a program or rehab? So, what's up with our footing? Why do we keep losing our footing? You see, our footing is what keeps us sturdy. And if you lose that footing, you stumble. So what does it mean to get or establish your footing? When I think about that, I often reflect on why new small businesses like a coffee shop or a restaurant announce that they're shutting down. They typically make statements about not enough customers, not enough profit, or unexpected situations like COVID. But I find myself wondering, what are the keys to a new business finding and establishing their footing? How do they get strong market share and it becomes a foundation right up front in their first year in business? How does this foundation become a footing that is stable enough to withstand unexpected times and circumstances? How do those challenges actually make their business stronger and they have improved their position for future growth? Well, for me, that's the similarity I'm going to look at. We're going to look at some things that could cause us to lose our footing in recovery, just as I was pondering about what small businesses need to do to get their strong footing and foundation. So hopefully we'll see ways that we can form our foundation and avoid falling when our situation seems slippery when wet. I'm going to use quotes to introduce 4 ideas here. The first quote is from Fulton J. Sheen, an American bishop and Catholic Church in the mid-1900s. He said, "It's impossible to lose your footing when you're on your knees." You got that? So what would keep us on our knees in prayer? Is our faith strong enough, and is it a firm foundation so that it keeps us from losing our footing in recovery? Or has it become a crutch that you lean on as you limp your way through life? Well, if faith is strong to you in recovery, I want to encourage you to pray, meditate, contemplate, journal, write poetry to process your thoughts, whatever it might be. And even if faith isn't strong, develop a habit of contemplation, meditation, journaling. Because every day that we don't make time to do those things It's like spilling oil or grease on the floor when we go to bed. We will wake up to a slippery day and quickly lose our footing. Second quote to think about today is from American author Ken Kesey, who wrote One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in the 1960s. He said, "Man, when you lose your laugh, you lose your footing." I like that quote. So I want to ask you, have you lost your laugh? Have your thoughts and emotions stolen your ability to laugh? Are you one of those guys who says, I can't even laugh anymore? I can't even fake a laugh. I'm afraid that if I allow myself to really laugh at something truly funny, that all of my suppressed sorrow will be released, and I may start crying and never stop. Well, if this is you, I want to say it's time to lighten up, to return to the innocence of a child who laughs and cries and finds wonder in the world around you. And if we don't lighten up, it's like we start every day with blinders on. We keep slipping and falling on banana peels. Everyone is laughing except ourselves. The third quote for today is from New Thought minister and author Michael Beckwith. He said, "If you're not consciously directing your life, you will lose your footing and circumstances will decide for you." You got that? So if you're going with the flow in life, with no goals, no direction, no destination, you will lose your footing sometime. And author Michael Beckwith says, we have circumstances and situations decide our direction in life for us. Are you living that kind of lifestyle where you simply react to situations that happen and you don't have any pre-planned ways of handling those situations? If that's you, I want to encourage you to talk to your counselor, your coach, a sponsor. Develop short-time goals. Refine your daily and weekly activities to ensure that your decisions line up with your destination. If we simply go with the flow for too long, we will find that every time we try to get our arms around a situation or circumstance, it feels like we're the guy trying to hug a slippery fish, and we keep dropping it. The fourth quote for today is from author, TV host, actress Oprah Winfrey. She said, "Balance lives in the present. The surest way to lose your footing is to focus on what dreadful things might happen." Can you see that when you focus on the negative what ifs, what dreadful things might happen, that we lose our footing and our ability to be fully functional in the present? So we need to stay focused on the present. And I think we can do this by naming 3 things we're grateful for every morning and every night. And talk through our fears and anxieties with our support people. And let that talk lighten our burden. Because living every day with fear and dread of what might happen is like trying to walk across a frozen lake in brand new leather-soled dress shoes. Every couple of steps we slip and fall on our butt, and our legs go out from under us every time we try to stand back up on the ice. Plus, we have the constant fear that the ice is too thin and we might fall through. In closing, we need a foundation in prayer, meditation, or contemplation. We need to restore our innocence and laugh and wonder at the world around us. We need to be directing our life and not simply going with the flow. And we need to release our fears of the future and live gratefully in the present. If we do those things, we'll be able to handle life and its situations when we see the signs that say slippery when wet. Thanks for listening to this episode of the A to D from Addict to Disciple podcast. If you were saying that's me, I'm afraid of those slippery when wet signs in life, then it's time now to reach out and join a group. So I want to encourage you to message me on the link in this podcast or by email at davidfroma2d@gmail.com, or go to my website, www.froma2d.org, and click on the contact page. If you're listening on Spotify, you can leave your comments by clicking on the link they provide on that platform. Tune in Monday for our next episode, and as always, stay safe and stay resilient.